Oh hey, Jeremy here from Long Speed Marine. So I've been plugging away on the Skylark. I got some stuff done on the shifter. The shifter's installed. I modified that, so I'm going to show you a bit of that. Brake lines are all in and bled. That's all done. Now I got to work on the tail lights to get the wiring done on that. So let's get going. Last quick video, I got the seat brackets done. So those are all done and welded in. Messed around with some of the wiring, which I still have to finish up. But today I'm going to be putting the sound deadener in now that the paint on the floor is all dried and the seam sealer is all dried. So now I'm going to put the sound deadener down. I'm going to get it laid out a little bit, see how well I can lay it out, and get that put in. And also, I got to get my shifter done, so that's going to be happening on this video now. So the shifter, turns out, yeah, this shifter, I said it in the last video there, I think it's a 73 to 77 Buick something or other. So it is a bit different. I've got this kit here from Shiftworks. I'll show you this. So this is to convert the stock shifter to work with 4-speed overdrive, so basically 700 R4. So it gives us our gate to 700 R4. The problem is the older style shifters, your Chevelles, your Camaros, and these Skylarks would have a plate that unbolts. So the shifter gate plate that would normally look like this would normally just bolt on, and it's quite simple. Just unbolt that, bolt this on, and away we go. Comes with all the brackets for the transmission in there, comes with a new cable. Awesome kit, but unfortunately, and the guy said no, don't do this, but I'm gonna have to do it because I'm under a crunch here. I'm going to have to cut this shifter. So what I'm gonna do is basically mock this up. I'm gonna take the actual shifter portion off, mock this up so that it's in the correct height, you know, mark it out, and just slice part way down and bolt this thing through because this sucker is threaded. So I'll just be able to drill some holes and bolt this through and convert this shifter to a 4-speed shifter. So that's what I got to do now. Okay, so there's that shifter modified and that plate put on there. Now, what the problem is, this is cracked, but that's okay because once you tighten this down, it's all right. But I ordered the new support piece for up the top. I think I ordered a new bar for underneath here because the chrome was pitted on that. And I ordered the springs for this as well. So they're coming in. So this is just going to be a bit of a pain because obviously it's not going to lock in for now. But those items there on the top, I can fix once the shifter is in. So that's fine. I can put those springs in afterwards, and hopefully, I'm hoping they're going to be here next week in a couple days before this car show. So I'm going to now get this bolted down to the car, get my shift cable where it's going to go, figure that out so I can drill the hole for the shift cable and run that down to the transmission. Okay, so here's my idea for the sound deadener. I'm not going to go and try to cover the whole floor, just a majority of it. So this kit is a kill mat kit, so 50 mil, 25 square feet. So this is what 25 square feet gets you. So it gets me most of the floor, the back, across the back here, obviously up the other floor. So it fills out pretty much the whole floor. So I think this is just called sound deadener, but I think it will stop a bit of the heat too. I mean, any layer there is going to stop the heat. This tin foil, again, should also stop some of the heat. So I've got 2 full sheets up there. I've got a full sheet here. I cut a sheet in half, which is going to go behind that sheet and in front of this full sheet on both sides. Then we've got 2 full sheets. Then I trimmed this one, which is on either side of the tunnel back here. So 1, 2 sheets, 3, half, 4. Okay. So that's what we use to do this whole kit, and that kill mat stuff you can get on Amazon. I can leave a link down below. But that's where I bought this from. It's pretty affordable. So I'm happy with that. I'm just going to go ahead and start sticking all this stuff down. All right, there's our kill mat all done and rolled out. I just bought a cheap roller too from Amazon to roll all this out. Anywhere that it was laying down and started to crease a little bit, I just cut it. This stuff cuts really easily. So like on the tunnel on the other side, there was a spot there where I just slid it to open it up. But now that's good. I mean, the floor sounds a lot more solid. And next up, I'll get the carpet laid in here, I think. Don't know if I have to take the shifter back out, but hope not. Get the carpet laid up in here and again, start going on putting this interior back in. All right. There's our good used carpet put in, the console, shifter. So it's starting to look like a car, and I'm getting really motivated and pumped to get this thing done. So it's all about doing the small things sometimes that just make you feel good about it and like you're getting to the finish line. All right, so I got the brake lines all done, the new master cylinders in, all new brake lines run, all bled, everything's all good there. This line, it's not a copper line, it's a nickel or steel with copper coating on it. There's a bunch of different names on it. Whoever the manufacturer is, they all call it something different, NICOP or something, whatever it is, they all call it something different. But this stuff's awesome because it bends up real easy and nice. To do the flares, I got a new flare tool, which I'm absolutely in love with. Saw it on Deedee's Speed Shop. He recommended it. So this thing is so awesome. Saved a bunch of time. I suck at doing flares, and this made me like a rock star. So I'm really happy with that. So I've got the lift all cleaned off because I was actually going to put this thing down on the wheels, but ordered the wrong lug nuts. So I don't know, even the lug nuts that were on here were wrong for the most part. So can't really put the wheels back on, but I would have liked to get this thing down on the ground because the shifter is all in. And I'll show you doing the shifter now on what I had to do to modify the shifter. All right, so then I hooked it all up underneath here. There's a measurement to do to get that part measured up. So that all measured up, so it all works nice now. Park, reverse, neutral, drive. So I'm happy with the shifter. So now I just got to move on to fixing up these pigtails on the taillights. So I've got to try to get my arm up in through the license plate hole or whatever and see if I can get that harness out without having to pull this bumper off. Okay, so I managed to pull both sides of this harness out the middle here. It turns out that it wasn't even connected on the one side, so that's going to be interesting to figure out and get up in there and connect it. So what I like to do for the electrical connections, some people will say solder it, whatnot, but there's no real need to. So I like to use these non-insulated butt terminals. So that's all it is there. It's just a basic butt terminal, non-insulated. So we'll crimp that over, and of course make sure before you do that, just like doing a brake fitting, make sure you put your shrink tube on. So this is the shrink tube that I've got. This stuff is from WireCare. I'm not sponsored by them, but I just like their stuff. So this is the shrink tubing. So I'll just use that crimp and this shrink tubing. So let's get one of these done. So for tools when I'm doing wiring, I like these pliers. These are from Channel Lock. So they're a cutter and a crimper. So this section here, the top section is for insulated. The second one here where it's got sort of the bite and crimps over is for non-insulated ones. So this one where it's got the indent in it, that's for non-insulated. And then these are the strippers that I like to use because I find when you're using these, it doesn't pull or tug on the wires. So it makes it a lot easier to use this style. So that's what I like to use when I'm doing my connections. So let's go ahead and get one of these cut off and put the new one on. I'm going to cut them off fairly close to the connector, leave a little bit of extra wire just because. So cut that off. Strip our ends back. Come on now. With this older wiring, because it's kind of hard, the wiring's still in decent shape, but it is just a bit hard, of course. You may need to push down. I find if I push down on the one end, it just helps it a little better. Come on. Come on. Jeez. There we go. Get out of there. So, now what I like to do is I'll take the crimp fitting, put it in my pliers like that, put it over the end, of course, or you can give these a twist too, holds up better. Put that over the end and crimp her down. Now is the crucial part. Make sure you don't forget to put your shrink tube on. Just cut that in half. Put my shrink tube on. This one's a little bit small. Gotta go the next size up. Put that on there. All right, I'm just going to show you this one and then I'll speed it up a bit. So all the ends that I've got, they're all green. The difference here is the left side is yellow, right side is green. But I've got two different shades of green, so I'm going to use the lighter green on the yellow side and the darker green on the green side. So I'll do the same thing here, strip this back. Take my end. And crimp her down. Alright, that's a good connection. That's not going anywhere. So now I'll put my shrink over. I like to use my heat gun for this. If you use it, you can use a torch or a lighter or something, but I just find it burns it, where this one doesn't burn it. All right, and that's a good solid connection, and we're ready to go. So, just got a billion more to do. Fun times. So the taillights are back in, and time to test her out. So let's see what happens. If I got brake lights? I got brake lights? I think so. How about turn signals? Yeah? Other side? Look at that! We got lights! That's pretty cool. How about running lights? Look at that! Cool. Alright, well that's exciting. Okay, that's going to do it for this one. So I've done a lot of work off camera, and I'm going to keep going on that because I'm really trying to push to get to this car show. Today's Sunday when I'm doing this, and the car show's on Saturday, so I want to make sure that I get a couple test drives in before I get to the car show. I still got a ton of stuff to do to get this thing on the road, to get it buttoned up to where I want to drive it. I'm sure I'm going to end up not being able to do a bunch of stuff, but anyways, make sure you hit that subscribe to see if I make it to the car show. Smash the like, leave a comment, all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.